episode 11.
Yes, competence number 8. Yeah, material world, money,
Most
system.
important topic. Where do we get the money and how do we survive material world with all those temptations and
Of
ideas,
course.
how we can cover all our needs and the needs of everybody around us, and how we can have more and more and more and more, bigger car, bigger house, bigger business, more employees, more clients.
And no stress. Yeah, bigger everything, but no stress.
Absolutely. So today we're going to look into the crisis of wanting more, because everybody has a potential, and that potential is dormant for most of us, because we have ideas, but sometimes we don't have enough energy to bring them into action. Sometimes we have a lot of actions, but we don't have ideas. So we go into action and then we see the result of the action and then we have an idea. And sometimes we have shock. No cash. What happened? The business is so successful, but there is no cash flow. Oh my God, what happens? My account is empty. I didn't notice that little thing. I was very busy doing my ideas. And the people around us, what kind of crisis do you experience with this kind of operational element in your business? So today we're going to talk about controlling material processes in a way that it works for you as a human being, as a business owner, as a family member, as a member of society, and how you can live happily ever after. Because the crisis happens all the time, how you survive it, how you avoid it, and how you manage your life in a way that brings you cash flow.
Yes, and how to avoid their money roller coaster, yeah? I mean, it's not easy to live when you have this kind of fluctuations, like every month, when you don't know it's gonna be enough for you or not. And we live in incredible time right now, that a lot of changes going on right now. And of course, when we're talking about our professional realization, we have to be really like open-minded, yeah? And I still remember I was actually every time I was like looking for opportunities. Of course, I know right now why I was doing this, because my date of birth is like has this kind of hidden code. And that's why with Svetlana, we'll be talking about very important topic, how to avoid this kind of crisis with our money, material world, and not to push away it. Because most of the time when we cannot attract material world, we say like, no, I'm not interested. No, I don't like money. And this is not good. We really need to have money. We need really to use them in our life. And today I will start just, I will share my screen here, and we have incredible poster over here.
And what we do with the poster, we use them as schematics for your mind. But we also want you to be connected with your personal date of birth to it. Why? Because all the numbers that you see on our posters are also in your date of birth. And in order to understand who you are, how you operate, what happens in people life, what happens in business life, all you need to do is to know the numbers between 1 and 9. This is the simplest thing that you can do for yourself, for the business in your life and the life in your business. You need to know these numbers. From number 1 to number 9, you climb the ladder of success. Success summit happens when you feel good. Many people create money to feel better, to feel richer, to have abundance. But the abundance cannot be bought. This is a very common mistake, that the more money you have, the more happiness you can buy. Yes, you can go to vacations more. You can have more cars to drive, but you only have one bath. And you can have more houses, but then you have to clean every one of them. And for that, you need as many cleaning ladies as many houses you have. So to start understanding abundance in your life, you need to look into abundance of the numbers in your birth date, because not everybody has all the numbers. Some of you do not have 1, some of you do not have 2, some of you do not have 3, and so on. I, for example, don't have 3. Therefore, analysis, which is the very important part of the business, ability to understand what's going on looking at the numbers. I don't have it in my birth date, and therefore I always make mistakes. And Vasili always has to correct me. No, that's 10 o'clock, not 9 o'clock. No, it's 19th, not 12th. Because numbers escape me. My body, my mind does not operate with the numbers. But I went and I studied how to make analysis, how to understand archetypes, how to understand date of birth, how to understand numbers in the business. And now I have this competency, and I use this competency to prevent crisis in many different businesses with the clients of mine, or even in your family. So first of all, write down your date of birth and look at the numbers. As we will be talking about different steps to climb the summit of success, you will be able to see what you already have as a God-given potential and ability to develop it bigger. More potential could be awakened. And then you'll see the numbers you don't have. And if you don't have it, yes, you can learn it, and I've learned it, but it's a struggle, and I still have to always look at the numbers very carefully because they escape me. I'm more poetic and I'm more archetypal than I'm numerical. But material world needs calculations.
Yes, and of course, when we're talking about our competencies, we really need to take in consideration our date of birth because it's clear as a day. You can see if you have like one, two, in my case, I have 1, 7, 6, and 9. I have only four numbers, four digits. Yeah, but I'm missing five. And everyone has this
I
kind of
didn't know that
limitation.
about you.
Yeah, at the same time, we have our skills. We can go and learn something, but this is the skill. Once you stop like practicing your skill, you forget. But your competences, when you work on your energy, when you work on your competences, it can serve you for the rest of your life. And that's why we have a success summit here on the right side over here on our poster, that everything starts with our strategy. Yeah, this is competence number one. And it's really like for those who was born after 2000, some of them they're gonna miss this kind of competence, and we really need to understand in order to climb our like way to success. We really need to really understand what does it mean to have this kind of strategy of management and leadership. When I take my decisions, I take responsibility at the same time, because most of the time we really don't want to act because as a next step I really want to take like not responsibility. I really want to get the results, but without responsibility. This is a life. I mean, we're not judging here, but we're talking in real life because we've been working with real business people. And when we show this kind of structure, they're so impressed, like, wow, I will think you, I have idea, I have my business, and that's it. No, it doesn't work like this. Of course, you can get some money at one point, but to grow as a sustainable business, you really need to have this all these nine competence in your team, business team, and of course in any structure. And that's why number one is very important as a strategy. First brick, yeah. As a second brick is diplomacy. Yeah, the way we can communicate with people, the way we can build relationship, because opportunities they come from other people, and that's why we really need to understand how to keep this relationship, how to build in the right way, and how to build bridges, not to break them after like one falls or something like happened when you think it's not good. Yeah, and
And
going forward,
just
yeah,
let's just add here that this is the place where you build your team. It's not just relationships. Let's go have a cup of tea during the break. It's how you build the team, because lots of crises come from I will do it better than anybody else because I'm an owner, or maybe I have more education, or maybe I'm most responsible. Yes, but you will collapse and your business will collapse with you. But when you build interpersonal relationships with understanding who each person is about, what they do the best, what they want to do, what they don't want to do, then you do not have to do everything by yourself, and not think in a way that if you, God forbid, are sick or went on vacation, the rest of your business is going to die. You can
yeah.
live your life, and your business can also live its own life.
Yeah, as the next competence is number three, analysis. Yeah, the process of systematization. And Svetlana just mentioned about analysis. It's numbers. I like numbers. I can calculate them, but this is not my strength. Analysis. No, I don't have a number three in my matrix. And that's why I really need to work harder a little bit in order to be able to analyze things, what's going in my life without like going into my subjective reality. Because all this kind of analysis, they on the surface of objective reality. In business, there is money. You have money or you don't have money. There is no like, oh, maybe just a little bit here. In a relationship, you have a relationship or you don't have. You have clients or you don't have a client. This is clear as a day, and sometimes, or most of the time, it's a little bit painful for business owners to realize, wow, in my objective reality, I don't have great results because you're missing this part of analysis. And in going further,
Material result. This is where
yeah,
you actually see the money that could be lost or found in the papers. If you have chaotic papers, if your operational instructions are not clear, that you will have a lot of chaos also in your personal life, because your business will eat your time for the personal life. I had a business owner that I was consulting that was not having instructions whatsoever. He would tell people what to do, and they would listen, and then they will forget. And so he was complaining all the time that he's the one that has to put all the fires, and he's the best, and he can manage, and he is very proud of himself. And I was always asking him, that's great, but you will burn out in your own fire. Let's write the instruction. And he was so against it because he's the guy who is operational. He's in the warehouse, then he's in the office, then he's on the phone, then he's speaking. And then when I persuade him to start writing instructions. A few weeks later, he said, I don't understand what happened. I only have to tell them once. I'm like, yeah, because the rest of the time they can repeatedly read it from the paper. And if they have a question, you can tell them, go look in your instructions. You don't have to spend another half an hour doing that. So everything operates from this analytical perspective. For example, you have one truck, and you want to have a trucking business company. You go and you take a loan. And the loan, especially during the COVID, were given no problem. You've gotten the loan from one truck or three trucks, you jump to 25 trucks, great, no problem. But analysis are different for one truck, for three trucks, for 25 trucks. And if you don't go and grow through every one of them, the skill is not developed. So when the time to pay loans come, you look into all of this. Oh, the economy is different. Oh, I lost this driver. Oh, my parking space got twice more expensive. What happened with the money? How can I pay the loans? But all of this analysis can help you to avoid this kind of problem in the material world. Because in the digital world, you can move the money from one account to another easily. In the material world, when you have a material possession, you're responsible for that. You're responsible for the building, for the warehouse, for the trucks, for the materials, for the t-shirts that you're printing. You are responsible for it. From here to your hands, the process of analysis and calculations help you avoid all of that load on your shoulders and you feeling, I have no hope and I have no money. So priorities in the business. That's where the competency 4 comes in, because if you have many priorities, it's oxymoron. You only have one priority. The rest of it is secondary. And when that priority for the business is to make money, then first three, the foundational things, I have the strategy, I have the team, and I analyze how this team works, then I can prioritize and give everyone in a team the priority for the business and priority for your particular space that you occupy. And then the goals that you set do not give you stress and crisis. It gives you material result.
Yeah, and don't be worried if you don't have this all the competence right now in your hands, but you can buy some of them. And of course, like knowing this, it's going to be easier for you to understand what you really need to buy. Yeah, what kind of expertise. And the next one is defining and setting goals. Yeah, for the companies, for the strategy, for 1 year goals, like 1 month goals, short, long-term goals. And of course, it's creative marketing. Do you really use in creative marketing? Because most of the time, even the marketing team is not right. Because, okay, let's just test, and we spend money, a lot of money for marketing. um, hypothesis just to check. And I have my personal experience when I invested $15,000 and the end of marketing team told me, Vasily, your face is not right. I said, how come? It's not attractive. That's why we couldn't
Did
track
you
any
push them?
clients.
Did you punch them in the nose? Such a handsome man. How could
Well,
they
it
not
was
say
online,
that?
Svetlana. It was online. I couldn't tell anything. But it was the answer like this. Your face is not right. But they tested a lot of things, and that's why, guys, when we're talking about the competence number four, it's very important to understand. You have to find the right people. And for my personal experience, a couple of years ago when I met the guy, and he helped me to film the reels. Yeah, to we did like 30 reels with him, and we get success after one month and a half. After like 30 videos, we got 25,000 clients, subscribers, not clients, subscribers on TikTok. And after we started generating our clients, because also your subscribers, they are not yet your clients. It's 100%. The client is who paid you. Yeah. And that's why number four, prioritizing goals, setting goals, creative marketing is very important. And because the next level is the next brick is logistics, sales, communication, image of your company. And of course, you can build your image very, very hard. At one point, you can lose your image. You can lose your face as a business owner. And right now, I'm working with a business owner who, for the last 3 years, was fighting with this. He couldn't raise his image up because he was working through his emotions. He destroyed his team. Nobody wanted to work with him. And right now, working with him, like going through discipline of the body to the discipline of his mind, explaining all these numbers and what's missing really, we help him to improve his face as a business owner and the image of the company. It's just incredible how it works. And I'm talking from my personal experience.
And the image of the company goes hand in hand with feeling comfortable and feeling that you are needed, that you are valuable in the company. And when the owner of the company communicates that, when they understand that communication is only going out for the clients to bring the new people in, but also inside, you value people that you work with, you understand what they want, you communicate clearly what you want, then it creates the level of comfortability. When people are under stress, that level saves the productivity. And for that, we are in the era of technical intellect. Before, we could communicate from the heart. We wrote emails by hand. We had spelling mistakes,
We have
but
birds.
yeah, nobody cared because they knew it comes from you. Now we have technical intellect. We have AI. It writes emails for us. It creates agendas for us. It presents for us. And what happens? You lose your image, you lose yourself. That was part of that communication. That was part, you gain technical intellect. You gain understanding how to operate with bigger amount of papers. But at the end, you are the one from whom the communication goes and creates the level of comfortability. And the level of comfortability is dropping these days because the amount of information that comes from artificial intelligence is such a huge flow that the people cannot integrate it in time. And then they feel they're no longer valuable. And look at the amount of people who lost their job because now AI can do it faster. Can it do it better? It can realize things better, but not in a level in which human mind, human connection can happen. And when you do not have it, when you lose it, you are finishing that story of productivity with 25 computers, no people around you. And then you understand that nobody cares about your image if you are looking in front of at the camera. The
Yeah.
image these days come from personal, heartfelt connection, which creates situation in which people don't want to leave you. that they would work with you, that will help you to conquer the world of the technical intellect in a way that you can have a material result from it. Because right now, when you fire your people and you replace them with technical intellect, you have more money. But when you end up with all that technical intellect produced for you, but you're tired because you're not able by yourself to bear responsibility of checking all the hallucinations that happen to AI, which does happen,
Yeah,
especially
of
with
course.
the high level programming, high level security. And I work with these people, IT people, that come to me dead, half dead after the day of work, because the amount and speed with which this information is produced does not match the amount and speed of one person. And that's where you need to have a team that understand you as a human being and what you want as a business owner and how you value them as your expansion. And that's where the business can actually scale. The business cannot scale just through the technical revolution. Yes, it's great. It's very helpful, and I use it absolutely. Both of us, Vasili and I, are heavily rely on that because lots of people, lots of time goes into conversations. You do need to keep your papers in order, and that's where it's great help. But you have to have a discipline of the mind and the body, competency 7, in order to manage yourself as a human being in this highly stressful environment of the technical revolution.
Yeah, and of course, when we use this kind of technical revolution tool, it's great. We have a speed, but talking about service quality, yeah, we as a human being really need it, and we really want to feel it. That's why it's very important to understand we cannot avoid this path. We really need to really understand how to build these comfortable bridges where customers come and they buy our services or our products. Yeah. And that's why to keep everything in order, we have to be in a great discipline. When you're talking about discipline, we don't need to be in the gyms, yeah, like working very hard, weightlifting stuff. If you really want, you can go, yeah, you can go there. But we're talking about discipline, walking, raising our energy. Yes, so building the ethics in the company. What kind of ethics you have in company? Because this is not surprise. Like when you have this kind of ability to test international teams, yeah, who work like on the international level, sometimes some parts of the world they have this kind of different ethics. For example, of Europe or Asia or North America. And I have experience living in Canada. You have an interesting ethic there, multicultural, and that's why we really need to understand and improve it every day because we fight for the speed. We really want to attract the things fast, but is it like ethical? Do we have this? And personally, I'm very curious about this because this is my part of my personality because I really want to talk not with the right people, but the people who really have this kind of values, yeah, of humanity or something like
Common
incredible.
understanding, common understanding of what's important. And in a
Yeah,
company, it's important, it's very important in life, and it's very important on the social arena because more and more people are so extreme in their values.
yeah.
And
So extreme. Yeah,
to bring those extremes to find the common ground is much more sustainable because once you have a lot of energy, you can fight, no problem. And this is the competency of building energy. And if you can look on the left side, we have the Kundalini energy chart. You can have dormant energy, which means it's all in the level of survival, first 3 energetic centers, in which you fight, procreate, sleep, eat, maybe make money, working hard. And then you can rise your energy by moving, by learning, by eating proper foods, by hydrating, by doing what you love, by sharing values. Because if you work with people who do not share your values, you're always in survival mode, you're always on defensive. To create a contact within your body, to rise your energy through the spine, so the energy frees up. It's no longer stuck at the bottom, it goes to your heart, You start seeing people through the eyes of your heart, not just through the judgment of your mind. You
Yeah.
understand people. And by the way, multi-generational conflicts in the family also comes from that, because older people usually have less energy, less tolerance. Same thing in a company. If you have older people, their luggage, their a lot of experience help the company, but also slow down because they have less energy. And after 33, the energy drops 70%. If you don't know what it is, come to personal consultation, because sometimes between 33 and 45, this is the moment in which people feel over the hill, uh,
Yeah.
exactly because of the Kundalini energy. It's no longer moving through the spine to the head, it goes down to survival mode. And you need to free up this energy so it goes where the ideas are and fuels your idea. And when you don't have common goals, those ideas die because you are not able to do everything that you want by yourself alone, especially after 33. For that, you need common ground, you need common values, and you need to control the processes that you're building. We're going to competency number 8. Once you have a lot of energy, you can spend it. For example, you go out 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you come home, 7 o'clock in the morning, you get up because you have to go to work. Maybe you're late for work, but fine. You got to the work, half a
Mm.
day is sleep. So you need to control the processes that allow you to have the material result. And a lot of times when you don't have enough energy, especially after 33, the control goes on the people. You should do this, and how come you didn't do this? And I'm gonna take money from you, and I'm gonna fight with
Fired.
you. Absolutely. But the control needs to go into the processes. Processes are not created properly for this priority, for this material result, with this strategy, with this team. If you break this climb to success steps and you miss one, you don't have that competency, then your control creates rigidity,
Hmm.
not free flowing energy of creativity, not free flowing energy of communication and technical improvement, but the rigidity and management and micromanagement, things that you don't need to micromanage. So you can see now how the instructions that you've created, the team that you put together, the comfortable place that you've created, the priorities that you've set, and the energy that you've built can contribute to this material result at the level of competency number 8.
It's so interesting. In my personal date of birth, I have this. I don't have number 8, and I just realized I can control educational process, but I cannot control like my material world. It's just incredible because I really 100% in education. And I just realized it's so interesting and so important to understand these little details that really help me a lot to know myself better. Because I was like towards only generating money, 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 money. But to control and manage them, this is like another story. And that's why when we're talking about $1,000 like bill, it's one story. But when talking 1 million, yeah, you have to have this kind of level of the energy, like competencies that can manage this kind of material world in a right way. Because there are so many stories, and I just recently from London, where I like working with the people who lives in Russian speaking in London, and there was the guy at the age of 33, he could generate 1 million with his business idea. But with his partner, they started fighting at the age of 34, 35, and just lost everything. They couldn't control the money, energy, and the emotions because we have a knowledge. Because to answer what was going on, yeah. And talking about the ninth competence is safety, yeah, accomplishment. It's really, really big time to understand what does it mean, because we really live right now in an open space. We're so transparent, and safety is very important because all this kind of digital money, all this kind of paper money, old school money, yeah, let's just exchange goods. This is like very, very far from now. And we're talking about like how to manage our material world, how to know all this kind of system, because every day there is something new. And in order to be on the top of this kind of revolution, because I have a feeling, Svetlana, every day we have something new in our world. And also safety is like very incredible when you can open your phone with your finger, when you open with your eye, with everything. And we're talking about this like kind of protection on the physical level. But when we're talking about our personal life, how is safe? Yeah.
And safety cannot be bought. We do buy systems, we do buy all kinds of security stuff, but the safety is the part of your upbringing. And truthfully, I always bring back business owners to the moment of the conception. How safe was your mother? How did she feel during the pregnancy? Is embedded in your cellular memory. Not only that, but your mother, father as well, but mother mostly, because it's 80% of the genetics comes from mother. What happens? Generational accumulation of unsafety. When they live through depression, when they live through the war, when they live, forget about recent events. Think about couple thousand years ago. This is all in our DNA. All those killing, religious wars, wars for territory, wars for food, all of that is not feeling safe. And when it amplified by the current events in your family, your father is screaming and your mother is scared for whatever reason, or your mother is screaming and you don't feel safe inside her body, all of that creates the loss of the inner core, of that sense of being safe. And when the child is born, the mother goes to work. These days, people have time to spend with the children. But when I was born, my mom went to work when I was 6 weeks old. And so this safety, the sense that your needs could be satisfied in any moment, that you are safe, that you are warm, this is gone in 6 weeks. And so going back to working with your inner core, with your lost sense of safety on the unconscious level, which I'm a master of, because I believe that any crisis starts there. And if you restore that foundation of safety within yourself, you do not go crazy. The crisis happens anyway. Unsafe situations happen anyway. But in any situation, you can stand within your inner core and you can observe it. You can be an observer of what's going on. You can make decisions based on that moment of observation, which is, by the way, skill and competency number 3. Stop and analyze. But when you are unsafe, you cannot stop. You need to act. And action, competency number 9, by the way, amplified by charismatic Kundalini energy moving competency number 7. When that amount of energy moving through you and you don't know how to sustainably process it through your body, you create unsustainable decisions and actions. And so the truth of the matter is that summit of success starts with safety and ends with safety. Because no matter how much money you get, if you're not true to yourself, if you're doing hidden, coverted actions, when you lie, when you don't pay taxes, when you get into problems with government, when you get into problems with the owner of the company or the rental owner or whatever else, doesn't matter how much money you have, you feel unsafe, it destroys you, your health, your energy, and as a result, it destroys the material result. So the manifestation cannot happen when you are unsafe. And you are unsafe when you go against your own self. And you go against your own self when you lost that connection. Connection with self, the competency 6, is comfortable feeling. I feel comfortable, I feel safe. Or I feel not comfortable, and therefore I'm not going to do it. I'm going to research, I'm going to understand, I'm going to build a team, and then I'll go in a building that is on fire. I'm not going to go alone just because I have an impulse. And so this poster gives you an understanding that all of these competencies contribute to how your material life unfolds. And your material life is this. The rest of it is an extension and bonus. But if you lose this, no matter how much money you have, you end up being dependent on other people. And we want to bring this one more poster for you, where the money go, because that also contributes how safe you are and what you do with your money. Because if your intention is to support your mother, your father, your children, your grandchildren, you will always work and you will never have enough and fulfillment, feeling fulfilled and accomplished. Because working for somebody else's goals, serving somebody else's goals, never gives it a meaning or satisfaction. In order for you to connect with your ancestral patterns, you need to connect through the core, through the heart. I am grateful. I honor everybody who came before me. I, of course, love my parents. And in the memory of the past, I choose to do things differently. If I love and respect my parents, it doesn't mean I have to do what they say or I have to do things the way they say it. In order, in the vision of the future, I don't have to make my children do what I think is right for them. I do things my way, and I let everybody else to live their life according to their date of birth, not mine, to their goals, to their sense of self. And this is the one foundation. When I respect my parents and I feel that both of my wings, my ancestral wings, mother, father, lineage, both of them are behind me as a support, not me behind them as a support. I'm a child. I move forward. They live their life the way they've chosen. They have whatever they have. I love them and I respect them and I let them make their own choices. I don't become a parent to my parent, but I also don't become the child to my children. And now you support me because I cannot have enough money, because I'm sick, because of the decisions I made before. This ancestral pattern has to be resolved, or your business will suffer and your personal life will suffer.
Yeah, I still remember when we were like so active in professional sport and figure skating with my daughter, and she was like expressing herself during the competitions. She was like, "Dad, you cannot imagine when you step on the ice and you hear your gate is closed, like, and you have to perform for the next 3, 4, 5 minutes on the competition, and your heart starts like beating like as a crazy, and you're by yourself." And one point, I still remember, I told her, Anastasia, you're not by yourself. How come? Just imagine me and your mom just behind you, your grandfathers, grandmothers behind you, grand, and you have a big family behind. And for her, it was like a very interesting approach how to support herself during the competitions, and it was very helpful for her. And when we're talking about how to build the business in this world, of course, we have to start with our family and how we build our relationship inside of our family, in the smaller one and the bigger one, with our aunts, like uncles, all this kind of stuff. Because when we dream of our business to build outside of our family, we really need to understand that everything starts inside. And that's why when you don't have a great relationship inside the family, the rest doesn't matter. That's why we really need to put a lot of energy in it. And also talking about like business, all the kind of investor, partners, team, colleagues, we really need to understand how to build this kind of relationship in order to grow, to push your business. Because we have a lot of stories when incredible businesses with the great numbers at one point just got destroyed and that's it. Why? Because there was no energy. Partners, they didn't want to hear each other. And that's why at this point it's crucial when we are with you guys, when we can guide you through calendars, through your personal calendar, through your business calendar. We have all this kind of knowledge and we really can help you not to avoid crises, because anyway we're gonna go through all the kind of things, but at least not to lose like 100% of your energy and to be in like in a bad mood or like incredible situation. And recently I had a conversation with one business owner who spent last year on Tenerife, 1 year on Tenerife Island, in order to recover. Because the previous year he lost a lot of money, and it was his personal year 8, and lost his money.
That's the year to make money, right? To
Yes,
work smart, not hard. And
yes,
absolutely, all of those systems, the ancestral system, personal system, social system, and business system, those are the systems of relationship in which you have a hierarchy. And
yeah,
the important part of the hierarchy is the place in the system. We often lose the place in the system. We do not, for example, if the parents are not available when you're a child, emotionally available, you no longer continue to be their child. You become an outcast. You do not know where to belong, and then you start going outside of the family to find friends and support. But at the end, our biology brings us back to personal family, and with your husband and wife, you repeat the patterns, ancestral patterns, because you don't know other patterns. And we live in a day and age when ancestral patterns are no longer present, really. The family is so different. The women
yeah,
before, for example, would not sit with a man like that and have an equal conversation, for example. And most of the times, the roles were very defined, and what you should do and what you shouldn't do in a family, forget about business, was very, very defined. You cannot escape that role. But today, we give ourselves the status. And that is the important part, because very often we live for other people to give us a status. For example, I want to be somebody's wife, whatever I do to get there, to get married, or I want to be somebody else's boss, whatever I need to do to get myself on top of the business. But this status we give ourselves comes with responsibility. And it's important to always understand what is my status in relationship to this group. Is it my family? Is it my business family? Is it my parent system in which I have no status beyond child? There is no other statuses. You could be friends with your parents rarely, but happens. But you cannot be anything else. But we always come to our parents as teachers. And we also come to our bosses as their bosses. But we're not. So give yourself a status, give other person a status, and look what kind of status you have in the social arena. Because you might think that you are a big business owner and show up on a business conference and nobody recognizes you, nobody wants to hear you. And it's important to give yourself a status, to explain who you are. Sometimes, just like a woman, like a princess in a story, we wait for the prince to recognize, I am a princess, give me the status. Not really, because in this day and age, if you do not present yourself with the status, nobody will know what kind of status you're looking for. And then your competency has to match it. If your competency do not match the status, your money will not match your status as well, right? So all of those elements that we are presenting today are about one thing. Things are not happening randomly. There is a system to the craziness. We have the system. It's very simple. It's only 9 numbers. You don't have to know anything beyond 9 numbers. You don't even need to calculate those numbers for most of the times. You only can calculate it on 2 occasions to understand what you desire in life. You put together your day of birth. For example, I'm born on 25th, therefore 2 and 5 together is 7, and I am in a group of 7 in terms of desires, which my desire is to manage crisis and not let bad things happening to good people. And then you need to calculate the second number, which is your year of birth, in which you put all the numbers together, and my number, the summary, comes to 9, which means I want to help people. That's that. The rest of it you don't need to calculate, but you need to control the material processes that bring you material results.
Yeah, it was a great topic, and see you next time.